भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैः स्तुष्टुवागुंसस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. In the first khanda of the third Mundaka, we saw the mantra which is rather quite popular. Satyena labhyas tapasa hyesha atma samyak jnanena brahmacharyena nityam. It is through truthfulness that the self can be obtained. You want to realize the Supreme Self? You want to have self-realization? Then be truthful, be transparent, be one with total integrity. Satyena labhyaha. And then in addition, tapasa, brahmacharyena, samyak jnanena, and so on. No wonder many years ago, in fact, in 1997, a book in English was published and it became so well received. 9 million copies were sold. Oprah Winfrey called it an excellent book in 2 of her shows. And that, of course, added to its sales. And that book essentially was as though an echo of the Upanishadic statement. The book I am talking of is The 4 Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz, along with Janet Mills. Don Miguel Ruiz talks about 4 agreements, and the first one is so akin to the Upanishadic insistence on truthfulness. The first agreement that the author over there asks all of us to make with ourselves is to be impeccable with our word. Every day we speak to near and dear ones, we speak to customers, clients, and so many of our associates. So in so many relationships we communicate. And if we are impeccable in our word, what we say is never far from truth. It is never an exaggeration nor an understatement. We say something that is right, well expressed, well conveyed. He says in that famous book, even today it's a popular bestseller. For years and years it was on the New York Times bestsellers list. Many years ago, somebody presented me with a copy of it also. And it has been translated in 42 languages around the world. This book, 4 Agreements, begins with the first agreement having to do with being truthful. Be impeccable with your word. Second habit, and what he calls agreement, is don't take anything personally. A lot of people go into depression, get agitated, lose their mood, go berserk, all because somebody says something and they take it personally. I have been insulted. I have been given some unjust treatment. It's about me that they are talking. Many a time, the other guys may not be talking about us at all. They may just say something about, they come to our house and they say, well, today the weather is not good. And imagine, we take it personally. When they come to our house, they feel even the weather is not good. It's because they have come to our house. They would not say this at another house, etc. If our mind imagines, I was insulted, I was, my hand was twisted, my arm was twisted by them, etc. So Don Miguel Ruiz says, don't take anything personally. Look at it as though it's not about you and examine whether what is said or what is done is true or false. If it is true, act on it. If it is false, ignore it. Second agreement thus is don't take anything personally. Third one is don't make assumptions. Don't make assumptions. All the more important in these days of the pandemic. If people make assumptions, everybody else may get COVID 19. I don't think I will get. If we assume like that, the consequences can be dangerous. Leave aside the pandemic. In any context, don't make assumptions. Think about the matter and come to a right assessment. And fourth, which also at the same time simple and most important, always do your best. Always do your best in what you have taken up. Majority of people in this world fail in this. And then they complain, oh, everybody else has been successful. I am yet to taste success. They cry. You are yet to give your best, dear. Do your best and then see. The whole world will come around and reward you. Therefore, to repeat once more, and I recommend that book. If Oprah Winfrey has recommended, Swami Chidananda follows suit, at least in this matter. I'm not going to follow suit in all that she recommends, but some of these wonderful books of self help, self knowledge, etc., she, of course, does a good job of studying it, assessing it, and then she interviews such authors. Then she recommends to her large circle of admirers that this is a book you must read. So I too would recommend The Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz, R-U-I-Z. The Four Agreements you Google and you will find. Do be impeccable with your word. Don't take anything personally. Don't make assumptions and always do your best. Now, proceeding, we saw the fifth mantra where it was expressed as Satyena Labhyaha Atma. Same expression has to, Labhyaha Atma has to be connected to Tapasa Labhyaha Atma, Samyak Jnanena Labhyaha Atma, Brahmacharyena Labhyaha Atma. The word Brahmacharya, though Adi Shankaracharya explicitly connects with Maithuna, sexual intercourse, and so on, in a larger sense, any overindulgence, any, for example, somebody sits and goes on and on watching YouTube videos, olden days television, nowadays internet sites, goes on and on checking WhatsApp messages of even the nature of entertainment, going on, getting stuck in sense pleasure. That is violation of brahmacharya. So, four factors were mentioned. Satyena labhyaha atma, tapasa labhyaha atma, samyak jnanena labhyaha atma, brahmacharyena labhyaha atma. And now we take up in this 42nd class the sixth mantra of the first kanda of the third Mundaka. Satyameva jayate na anrutam satyena panthaha vitato devayanaha yena akramanti rishayo hi apta kamaha yatra tat satyasya paramam nidhanam. Satyameva jayate. Satya alone wins. Na anrutam, never the falsehood. Sometimes those who tell a lie seem to win. You know why? Even when they seem to win, when they tell lies, it is because others take what they are saying to be true. So others are respecting truth only, but others were deceived by this man. Others were misled to think that what this man was saying was true. Others actually respected, received, accepted truth. But what they took as truth, alas, was not truth. So there also, from a certain angle of view, truth alone won. But when we dig deeper, this dishonest guy had spoken some lie and made it appear as truth. So what happens? Eventually, the long hand of law, if not the law of the land, if not man-made law, the long hand of God's law catches him. It will catch her. Therefore, Adi Shankara says, by Satya is meant Satyavan. Satyavan Jayate. And today's Paninian Sanskrit, Ji Jayati is a Parasmaipadi Dhatu. Therefore, it should be Satyameva Jayati. Jayate is Arsha Prayoga. In the national emblem of India, we have this written, Satyameva Jayate. Truth alone wins, which implies the truthful people win, if not immediately, eventually. Na andratam, not the ones who go by false speech. Satyena pantaha vitataha devayanaha. The road to divinity, the road to gods. Devayanaha is the travel to gods, and pantaha is the path to it, is the road to it. It is satyena vitataha, is spread with truth. The carpet that covers the path to gods is made of satya. Vitata is vistirna, spread, and it is truth by the help of which yena rishayaha akramanti. Rishayaha here stands for upasakas. Of course, visionaries, but on the level of some exalted upasana, they are yet to realize the supreme Brahman. These upasakas, contemplating upon Brahman, upon the highest truth, not yet realized, because of their truthfulness, aptakamaha akramanti. They are aptakamaha, they have no desire. Aptakamaha practically boils down to akamaha. Literally, aptakama is someone whose desires are fulfilled. Someone had only two desires and they were fulfilled, therefore he is now desireless. So, more than the fact that she had two desires and they were fulfilled, we must note that today she is without any desire. Aptakamaha, therefore, boils down to akamaha, nishkamaha, akramanti. They go and reach. Where do they reach? Yatra tat satyasya paramam nidhanam. Where that supreme truth. Now you see the word satya in the last line can stand for Brahman. Therefore, an interesting result comes about. Satya is the means and Satya is the end. Satya, truthfulness in speech, in behavior, in transactions is the means. Of course, it's a sahakari sadhana. It facilitates samyak darshana. Samyak darshana is the sakshat sadhana, and human values like truthfulness are sahakari, secondary means. And for us who are not way up there, the so-called sahakari sadhanas, secondary means, are far more precious than the primary means, because the primary means is simply out of reach. Therefore, what is within our reach, where we can exercise our choice, is truthfulness, letting go of false behavior, deceitful behavior. Therefore, even though to call it sahakari sadhana a little bit brings it down, as far as we are concerned, it is everything. Somebody who is homeless gets a two-bedroom flat in a good colony of a nice city, it is heavenly for him. Don't go and tell him, this two-bedroom flat in this colony is nothing compared with a palatial independent bungalow, at a stone's throw distance from the Prime Minister's house in New Delhi, and so on. He'll just smile at you. Thank you for saying that. But for me, this two-bedroom flat in Hyderabad, in Banjara Hills, clean surroundings, and I don't seek anything more. I am so delighted. Who cares for that palatial independent bungalow in New Delhi? This is my heaven. Don't we say that? Like that, for us who live in conflict, who live in a lot of insecurity, who live hiding something, covering up something, hesitant to say something, or restless, and we spill the beans sometimes, we say things which should have been kept secret. So our life is full of such chaos. For us, what is needed is, to quote one last time Don Miguel Ruiz, to be impeccable with our word. That is truthful speech. That leads to this sadhya, the end, which is also called satya. That's not a human value over there. That satya, which is the destination, is the reality, Brahman. There it is called satya because its nature never changes. Trishu kaleshu abadita vastu. Yasya swarupam kadapi na vyabhicharati. That the nature of which does not change at all, at any time, at any place. That is Satyam, that is Brahman. But on the transactional level, speaking what is true, reporting as things actually happened, and allied values like doing what we promised and such things. Satyameva, Adi Shankara says, Satyavan eva jayate jayati. By the way, Nidhanam is Nidhi. Nidhi is where typically precious stones are placed. Nidhi literally means something that holds, something like a box, like a chest, like a bowl, like a huge vessel in which certain precious things are kept. And here, Satyasya Paramam Nidhanam. That plane, figuratively, it is called a plane or a loka. The absolute Brahman is not in some loka somewhere. It's all pervasive. Everything is in Brahman. We are not to imagine Brahman is somewhere. Rather, all space, all time are in Brahman. Tat satyasya paramam nidhanam yatra asti tatra akramanti. There these rishis reach. Na andritam, says Shankara, na andritavadi. So rather than falsehood losing, actually it is those who are false, those who are embracing falsehood, those who have been telling lies to their friends, relatives, near and dear ones, whoever. Then andritavadi, Plural of it would be Anritavadinaha na jayanti. Satyavadinaha eva jayanti. नहि सत्य अनृतयोः केवलयोः पुरुष अनाश्रितयोः जयः पराजयो वा संभवति. Acharya Shankara justifies his interpreting Satya as Satyavan and Anrita as Anritavadi because this truthfulness and falsehood by themselves neither win nor lose. Winning and losing, finally, in gross terms, are to people. People who walked by truth could win, could lose. People who went by falsehood could win, could lose. And the mantra says, those who walk by truth have to win, will win. Prasiddham loke satyavadina anritavadi abhibhuyate na viparyayaha. In the world, whoever sees from a larger perspective, whoever sees the whole story, it is always Satyavadi overpowers the Anritavadi. Abhibhuyate means getting overpowered. Na viparyaha, it's not the other way around. Viparyaya is reverse way. Ataha siddham satyasya balavat sadhanavatvam or sadhanatvam. Therefore, it is established that truthfulness is a strong and powerful means to realize the highest truth. Be truthful in your transactions, then your chances are high. Otherwise, you may deceive people for some time and they may never know how deceitful you were, but you won't realize the Supreme Brahman. Perhaps it was Abraham Lincoln who had said, you may deceive a man all the time, or you may deceive all people one time, but you cannot deceive all people all the time. We can in fact add a sentence, even if by chance you succeed in deceiving all the people all the time, you cannot deceive God, you cannot deceive your own true self. The matter of self-realization is not accomplished, even if you deceive all the people all the time, all through your lifetime. So, self-realization requires cleansing of our bosom. Because of ignorance, we might have made mistakes, but it's never too late. Start today and set your own house in order. Further, kincha shastratah api avagamyate satyasya sadhana atishayatvam. Various scriptural statements also talk about the exceedingly powerful nature of truthful living. Here itself the second line, katham satyena yathabhuta vada vyavastaya. Yathabhuta, as something happened. Exactly as something happened, vada is speaking, saying, vadana. Vadati means one speaks. Vyavastaya, if that is the arrangement by which we are going, then that acts as the road. Panthaha, Devayana Akhyaha, road leading to gods. Vitataha, Vistirnaha, Satatyena Pravrittaha. Not just the first 100 feet, but the first 100 feet, the next 100 feet, the next 100 feet. Satatya means satata, endlessly, without a break. From here till you reach the highest abode. Satatyena vistirnaha, if the road is completely covered, completely tiled with truth only. Yena patahi akramanti, and there also with a upasarga, kram becomes atmanepadi. Shankaracharya therefore provides the modern Sanskrit version. Though akramanti is in the mantra, we may take it as akramante. Sometimes For those who have a little interest in grammar, a verbal root to begin with may be, let's say, Atmanepadi. And if you add certain prefix, it becomes Parasmaipadi. For example, Ram, Ramate, Atmanepadi. But if you add the Upasarga Upa at the end of a speech, you may want to say, saying this, I shall now stop, I shall now withdraw, I shall get back to my seat. So you cannot say Aham Uparame, thinking Ram is Atmanepadi. Aham Uparamami, Ramami, Namami is Parasmaipadi. So grammar is a bit tricky, but nothing is tricky if you are in regular touch with it. Study 15 minutes Sanskrit every day, then everything will fall into place. You will go on enjoying what was burdensome at one time becomes enjoyable by investing 15 minutes in learning Sanskrit. Today, there is no shortage of material, there is no shortage of technology. If you have the will, there is the way. Akramante Rishayaha. Rishayaha no doubt means Darshanavantaha, but as we said before, here we need not take it as those who have had Brahma Darshana. They have had Darshana, a vision of very many mystical phenomena. So therefore, they are advanced Upasakas. But more than anything else, as relevant to the present context of excellent human values, it is said rightly by Adi Shankara, Kuhaka, Maya, Shatya, Ahankara, Dambha, Andrita, Varjitaha. Kuhaka, Maya, Shatya, Ahankara, Dambha, Andrita, Varjitaha. 6 negative values, 6 undesirable ways of behavior are absent in these rishis. Kuhaka is deceit, Maya is pretense, Shatya is behaving in a wicked way, Ahankara behaving in egoistic way, Damba again is show off, and Andrita is telling lies. All these are negative qualities, and these rishis are varjitaha, free of them, these negativities, aptakamaha. If you and I can cleanse our bosom of negative values, it is a great wealth that we accomplish. We are very rich. Really, the truly rich people on this earth are those who have a clean and pure heart. The value of a pure heart by far exceeds physical wealth, rupees or dollars, etc. Aptakamaha vigata trishnaha sarvataha. That was explained before. Aptakama means whose desires have evaporated. Yatra yasmin tat paramartha tattvam satyasya uttama sadhanasya sambadhi sadhyam. Where while truthfulness is the uttama sadhana, a great means, related to it, sambandhi, sadhyam, that is what is to be achieved, means and the end. Sadhana is means and sadhya is the end. Where is the end located? That is where truthfulness as a means will lead us. Yatra sambandhi sadhyam paramam prakrishtam nidhanam purushartha rupena nidhiyate iti nidhanam vartate. It is the receptacle, it is the abode where the highest understanding as though is seated. Highest understanding is not a physical object to be located in some place in a bowl, etc. But therefore we say it is figurative, where supreme peace is located. Supreme peace is experienced in our antakarana when we realize the truth. Thus, tatra cha yena pata akramanti sa satyena vitataha iti purvena sambandha. Though we went to the fourth line of the mantra, it has to be connected to the second line. Devayanaha pantaha vitataha. The entire road is tiled with truthfulness. That's how you are able to walk to the abode of gods. So this is praise. This is extolling the supreme value, truth. I believe once Sri Ramakrishna sat before Mother Kali, and in a dramatic manner he went on saying to Divine Mother, I am giving you my wealth, I am giving you my clothes, I am giving you my ornaments, I am giving you, even started talking abstract values. I am offering to you my anger, I am offering to my speaking skills, I am offering to you my simplicity, some values. And by a slip of tongue, he said, I am offering to you my truth. And there he stopped. He said, no, wait. Oh, mother, I won't offer my truth or truthfulness to you. If I let go of my truthfulness, I am gone. No, I'll offer anything else, but truth I will keep with myself, with some childlike simplicity as well as great, deep insight. Sri Ramakrishna behaved like that on that particular day. Everything I'll offer at your feet, O Divine Mother, but truthfulness will be with me. Thus, truth is praised here. Now there is a mantra which says, just for revision, just for helping us all keep in mind, bear in mind what that truth is which is to be realized. The mantra says, Brihaccha tad divyam achintya rupam Sukshmacha tat sukshmataram vibhati Durat sudure tadiha antike cha Pashyatsu ihaiva nihitam guhayam. On one hand, it is pointing out the nature of the truth. On the other, it is praise. It is compliments to that liberating understanding. That supreme truth is big. Connecting to this mantra, Acharya Shankara says, Kim Tat, what is that truth? Kim Dharmakam, what qualities, attributes does it have? Tat Kim Dharmakam iti uchyate. Answer is Brahat. In fact, that's why it is called Brahma. Brihatvat, Brihattamatvat. It's the biggest conceivable. Nothing is bigger than that. And Divyam, full of light. Achintya Rupam, beyond thought. Since it has no form, no name, no boundaries, no qualities, no shabda, no sparsha, etc., our mind cannot conceive it. Where mind lets go of its attempt to conceive, mind then subsides, stays in gentle, pure awareness, in silence. In silence, it realizes what the ultimate truth is. But we don't then give credit to the mind, for the mind did not know Brahman in usual way of describing it in some way. Rather than letting go of all descriptions, the mind intuitively knows. Sukshmacha sukshmataram, it is subtler than the subtlest. Vibhati, it shines. And in some sense, durat sudure, is far, very far, farther than anything that is far. But in the same breath, the mantra says, Tat iha, that here, antikecha. It's so close. So is it far or is it near? Say one of the two. Why do you say it is far? And then, without waiting for 2 seconds, you say it is near. We say, really speaking, it's all pervasive. You stand on a cricket field, and if you were to ask, how far is the building of Bank of India? So it's in this direction, about 2 kilometers away. How far is Vidhana Sauda if it is Bangalore? Oh, that is this way, 3 kilometers away. Then suddenly your friend asks you an out of the box question. How far is space from you? There is space far away where the stars are seen. From that angle of view, space is very far. But there is space right here. You are standing in space. So it is so near. Space is far, space is near, space is in fact that in which you are. And Brahman is that in which space is. So Brahman is even subtler than space. Durecha Antikecha. In one of the beautiful hymns as found in Adhyatma Ramayana, it is said someone praises Lord Sri Rama, and while praising Lord Sri Rama, she or he says, "O Rama, you are very, very far for people who are attached to sense enjoyments. O Rama, you are extremely near to people who are involved in yoga, that is spiritual sadhana. One is bhoga, another is yoga. So it is said, Sada yoga, uh, those who are, there's some word, yoga rathanam, and sada bhoga rathanam sudure vibhati, sada yoga rathanam adure vibhati. For those who are into bhoga, that activity keeps them in duality. They miss out the non-dual truth. But those who are engaged in yoga, their mind lets go of self-created duality and they are into the ultimate truth. So Rama is far for those who are into bhoga. Rama is near for those who are into yoga. So here, dusudure antikecha. And pashyatsu. Pashyan is a person who is seeing. In fact, all living beings see, they perceive. They perceive pleasure, they perceive pain. Therefore, Prashyatsu boils down to Pranishu. Sarveshu Pranishu, Sarveshu Jantushu, that is, in all living beings, this truth, in fact, is in their own heart. Nihitam Guhayam. Guha is Hridaya Guha, or Guha is a figurative description of where our thoughts are revolving, rotating. We have so many thoughts. Where thoughts are dancing, causing us happiness or pain, right there, not far away, illumining our thoughts, illumining our emotions, illumining both hope and fear. The light of consciousness is shining. That is said in this mantra. Briefly, Adi Shankara explains, Brihat means Mahat, a synonym, Tat Prakritam Brahma, that Brahman of the present context. Prakrita means present context. Satyadi Sadhanam Sarvato Vyaptatvat. Satyadi Sadhanam is a Bahuvrihi Samasa. That Brahma which has Satya and other values as the sadhana. Satya adini sadhanani yasya tat brahma satyadi sadhanam. So sarvato vyaptatvat. Brahma is called huge because it is all pervasive. We call something huge when it covers more space. And this Brahma covers all space and is beyond space too. Divyam Swayam Prabham. shining by itself. And one more meaning Bhashyakara gives is anindriya gocharam. Normally we know things through our senses. Therefore we say senses are the light in which we see objects. Eyes are the light in which we see forms. Ears are the light in which we come to know sound. But this is Swayam Prabha. This doesn't need indriyas at all. To know I am, we don't need eyes or ears. To know whether someone else has come in the hall, we look around. Oh, I see him, he has come. We report. But to know our own existence, I am, is self-evident. And this Brahma is the inner truth of the pure existence. अतएव न चिंतयितुं शक्यते अस्य रूपम इति अचिन्त्य रूपम. It's not possible to conceive with the mind. Sukshmad akashaderapi tat sukshmataram. Of the five elements of which everything is made, the subtlest is akasha. When the mantra says subtler than the subtlest, it means it is subtler, more sukshma than even space, akasha. Niratishayam hi saukshmyam asya sarva karanatvat. One of the logical bases for saying Brahman is the subtlest is that whenever there is an arrangement of effects and causes, the cause is considered subtle and effect is considered gross. With clay, you make a pot. The pot is gross, the clay is subtle. With words, you write an essay. The final essay, though much appreciated by people, is gross. The words that you have used, the tools that you have used are subtle. Tomorrow, with that kind of vocabulary, that kind of expressions at your fingertips, you may write 10 more essays, which also will be appreciated. For you have a gift for expressing well, conceiving well, wording them well. So the words that are the cause are subtler. The essay or poem, a particular poem, is grosser. Therefore, Brahma is the cause of everything. Sarvakaranatvat asya brahmanaha saukshmyam niratishayam, unsurpassed subtlety. Vibhati, vividham bhati, shines in numerous ways. It is this Brahman which shines as Aditya, as Chandra. Aditya Chandra adi akarena bhati dipyate. Dipyate is a synonym for bhati, shines. Kincha, further, durat viprakrishta deshat sudure viprakrishtatare deshe vartate. Just now we said that in the Stuti in Adhyatma Ramayana, Yoga Bhajam and Bhoga Bhajam are the two words. Sada Yoga Bhajam Adure Vibhati. Sada Bhoga Bhajam Sudhure Vibhati. Or Vibhantam, I think. That Rama is put in second case there. I salute you, O Rama, who is shining very far for Bhoga Bhajam and very near for Yoga Bhajam. Yes, Vibhantam. Sada Yoga Bhajam Adure Vibhantam. Sada Bhoga Bhajam Sudure Vibhantam is the one line of that stuti. So we have Sudure and Avidusham, ignorant people say, I don't know where God is. I don't know where this Brahma is. In fact, I am not sure whether Brahma is or not. In this way, avivekinaha vadanti. Ati atyanta agamyatvat. For them it is unreachable. But ihadehe antike samipecha vidusham atmatvat. Those who have become sattvic, those who have let go of lies, let go of duplicity, those who have let go of their lower vasanas, those who are of pure mind, they experience this Brahman most close to themselves, inside themselves, as their own true self. True self. Sarva antaratvacha akashasyapi antarashrutehe. There are Vedic statements which say Brahma is even inside Akasha. Iha pashyatsu chetanavatsu. See, someone who has Chetana is called Chetanavan, and many of them Chetanavanta, and in them Chetanavatsu. So, among all beings who have life in them, right inside them, nihitam sthitam darshanadi kriyavattvena. When they see, that is a sign of Brahman. When they hear, that is the proof of Brahman. When they perceive, when they act, all that is possible because of this basic truth of that person, that animal, that lady, that man, that child, anybody is basically Brahman. And then the rest of it is details. Thus, darshanadi kriyavatvena yogi bihi lakshyamana. All don't see this. Yogis only are able to see this. Kwa, where do they see it? Guhayam, in the cave. Buddhi lakshanayam, rather than heart, Adi Shankara calls it here Buddhi, right in our intellect. There was a wrong notion earlier in the intellect. I will die, I am losing, I am this body, COVID may affect me, all kinds of fear. But now, while any sensible person takes whatever care is to be taken for COVID, if one has Atma Jnana, one is in one's heart of hearts not afraid. Doing what can be done, one says, rest of it is fine. I have to live, I will live, I have to go, I will go. And the real I doesn't go anywhere anyhow. It is the personality which winds up. Behind and beneath the personality, I am that truth. For pure-minded people, it's not just words, it's not like a parrot talking something. It is a matter of deep understanding, deep conviction too. Tatra hi nigudam lakshyate vidvadbihi. Vidvad is learned people. Learned people know that the truth is located in one's own heart. Tatapi avidyaya samvritam sat, being covered, being veiled by ignorance, na lakshyate. It is not noticed. Tatrastameva, though it is right there. Avidvadbihi. Sada bhogabhajam sudure vibhantam. Therefore, sada yoga bhajam adure, not far. Sudure, very far. See the play with words over there. In this way, the Rishi of Mundaka Upanishad on one hand strengthens the values that you and I need to observe in day-to-day life, on the other reminds us of the glory of that supreme truth. Then of course there are other mantras which directly point out the nature of Brahman. So the Upanishadic literature takes us to higher and lower level alternatively, so that on the whole we are quite properly oriented. Om Namah Paramarashibhyo Namah Paramarashibhyah.